Someone! My foot is fucked! Help me!
My name is Cooper. I was born in Canada. I'm 21 years old. And I think just over a year now I've been in Ukraine as a volunteer fighter.
Cooper is a medic and a fighter with the Hartia Brigade. In the fall of 2025, he became a participant in historic events. That's when Putin announced that the Russians had completely captured the important Ukrainian city of Kupiansk. However, it wasn't exactly like that. This is Cooper's story. Experience exclusive combat footage and the moments he will never forget.
I just wanted more with my life. That's all, really. And I think maybe I like to spare people the moral platitudes of, wanting to say that's, I'm here to save Ukraine and whatnot, every foreigner says that, right? Or want to fight for Ukraine's freedom. The truth is I just wanted something more, and if I help people along the way, then that's great too, and I think that's my duty.
During the fighting for Kupiansk, his battalion commander calculated that the Canadian volunteer provided assistance to more than 50 wounded comrades.
I think he's making me sound more like a hero than just a dude who kept getting woken up in the bunker to do his job.
The task of Cooper and his comrades was to clear the forest where the Russian positions were located.
And we pushed into the forest beyond that through a hole in the wall. And that was kind of what we were visually notified was the divide. So past that was behind the zero line. And we just started clearing the whole forest. We were given some information on map about the positions, and we knew that recon drones and bomber drones had gone through the forest, so we knew that it was fairly accurate. It was very thick forest, so when we entered, the map was kind of useless, except for directions, right? Because we couldn't see barely 10 feet in front of us sometimes.
The fighters of Hartia moved from one enemy position to another and checked them.
Since there's only 3 of us, right? We always figured 2 and 1, or just baseline, and then just surrounding area. But so you're being very careful because basically the guy has to clear the holes, basically the sacrifice, right?
According to Cooper, the Russian positions were poorly constructed. Most of them were just holes in the ground.
This holes.
Yeah, quite a few fighting holes. There's probably more observation and fighting holes than there were actual bunkers, to be honest.
Despite this, any of these holes in the ground could have been deadly dangerous.
Fighting hole. I was wondering if we can use a frag, and dude, we have 20, just use them. And we basically just did a big loop through the forest, made sure the middle was clear as well. We didn't really have enemy contact that day. We were all quite eager to have enemy contact, so we were almost a little bit disappointed. No, the only thing we found was bodies. So whoever was bombing the forest did a very good job, because to us it looked like that's what happened already.
Still, Cooper had to work on his own. Colombian comrades fighting for Hartia managed to pull a Ukrainian.
Gunshot. He was in direct contact with an enemy, so.
Unless he's choking, dude.
Yeah, and he was having issues with breathing. So I kept telling Pilgrim, put him on his side, let him breathe, right?
The wounded man was in critical condition, but Cooper managed to stabilize him.
Come on, we take him, go inside. 3, 2, 1.
I think right when he got to the bunker, he went into shock, and I noticed that. So I'm kind of surprised that he came out of it, because he was in shock all the way back at the medical bunker, and then they had to bring him all the way to the extract still. I don't know who this guy is, but he's obviously a fighter.
The Ukrainian fighter ultimately survived. One of the 50 people the Canadian volunteer managed to help before he himself was wounded. After that, Cooper's group began to retreat. But for him personally, it became the toughest experience of his life. But what was it, really? In mid-September 2025, the situation in Kupiansk was critical. the Russians crossed the Oskil River, secured their position, and continued advancing. They used a large underground gas pipeline to discreetly move forces and protect themselves from drone strikes. Eventually, the Russians captured most of the city. On November 20, the commander of the Russian Western Group of Forces, Sergei Kuzovlev, reported to Putin that Kupiansk had been captured.
То есть все, закончили целиком. Так точно, город находится под нашим контролем, уничтожаются отдельные мелкие разрозненные группы противника.
However, just a few days after that, some doubts about the Russians' success in Kupiansk arose. This was after Volodymyr Zelensky posted a video from the city. In fact, in November, the Ukrainians in Kupiansk destroyed several enemy battalions, liberated the villages around the city, and completely blocked the ground routes. While Putin was celebrating with generals, the Russian troops in Kupiansk found themselves surrounded. Cooper saw all of this with his own eyes. Together with his comrades, he was among the first to enter villages north of the city. But on the way back, after clearing the same forest, something happened.
I was the last in the formation. Everyone else was walking the same line as me. We were being quite strict, quite professional. But I guess they just got lucky and I didn't. And nobody saw the mine. I didn't see the mine either. Honestly, I quite vividly remember my feet being thrown up and I was thrown on my back. And I knew instantly I had to step on a mine because as my foot was going up, I saw my boot torn apart.
Cooper recalls that instinctively he reached for the tourniquet and applied it to his leg.
I immediately thought to myself, okay, leg injury, so I'll go here instead of up here because I know put it up here, you'll lose the whole leg usually if you keep it on too long, right? So I went here. And that's where they amputated it, so I suppose it was a better choice than if I went up here like some people do, right?
He tried to get up, but couldn't. So he simply crawled through the grass. There, he began recording a video on his GoPro.
So I said to myself, well, okay, if I'm gonna die here, I must have recorded.
After a short rest, Cooper began moving toward his own lines, sometimes crawling, sometimes making short dashes.
Hey! Someone come help me!
In retrospect, I'm very, very lucky that I didn't run, that the drone wasn't around at the time. I think for a long time I was in the open. I would not have been able to do anything. It would have just finished me off if there was an enemy FPV or an enemy drone. So I was extremely lucky.
Soon, Cooper was heard by the fighters of another Hartia battalion. They rushed over, helped him, and then applied another tourniquet. After that, he had to wait for evacuation in a dugout for a day. Finally, Cooper was transported at night on a quad.
I didn't get to the stabilization point till night, so I just passed out in the door because I just lost so much blood. And then the report was sent to me, and I realized how close I was to death when I read the stabilization point, report on me, because they said they had to resuscitate me, which means that, I was pretty much dying by the time I was getting there, right? So, yeah, quite good timing, very good timing. I go back, when you actually go back to the factual details of the mission, I'm extremely lucky to be alive,
Despite Moscow's claims of capturing Kupiansk and Kupiansk-Vuzlovi, the reality on the ground remains unchanged. The Ukrainian flag still flies over the city center, while the Hartia Brigade and other units continue to eliminate Russian forces on the outskirts.
I lost my leg. Move on, right? I can't change what happened, and I know what I signed up for. I don't regret it. I'm not done yet.